According to history, the gods never died. They were buried in ash, in language, in churches, in shame. And yet, when the thunder cracks over the Congo, when the rain falls in Ethiopia weeks early, when a woman dreams the ocean speaks her name, someone remembers. This is Voices of the Forgotten, where Africa's lost stories rise again. Long before maps ripped the continent into names, there were voices. Deep in the basin of the Congo, where green ruled louder than kings, the Bakongo worshipped a god not of judgment, but of balance. Nzambi Mpungu, creator not of man's morality, but of life's rhythm. He didn't demand praise. He was the wind. He was the breath. He was the movement between this world and the next. Each time a child danced, Nzambi moved. Each time a bird flew against a storm, Nzambi whispered. They carved circles in the earth. Kalunga, the line between worlds. The living, the dead, the unborn. But what the missionaries didn't understand was that the God behind those circles never stopped drawing them. Why would they erase a God with no image? In the cliffs of Bandiagara, hidden in shadows of stone and time, the Dogon guarded something older than memory. They told of the Nomo, twin spirits from a star the West had yet to see. Sirius B, a white dwarf invisible to the eye, but mapped in Dogon sand with perfect accuracy, centuries before any telescope would. The Nomo were part fish, part divine echo. They came to bring order, to restore a cracked world. They taught language, taught how to find water beneath rock, taught how to build temples in rhythm with the stars. But they also warned, forget us, and chaos returns. And when the French arrived, when they mocked the stories and melted the masks for gold, the chaos returned, bit by bit. The caves were silenced, but the stars, they haven't. How did a people with no machines know what scientists only found in 1970? In the highlands of ancient Kenya, before Christianity, before colonization, Mount Kirinyaga, today misnamed Mount Kenya, was not just a mountain. It was the throne of Ngai, a high god of the Kikuyu, Kamba, and related peoples. Neither fully male nor female, neither jealous nor wrathful. Ngai was harmony. They offered sacrifices under fig trees, laid goats before the dawn, spoke with the wind, chanted into mist. But Ngai had one law: cut down my trees, and you cut down your connection.
When the British came, they built railroads through those forests, burned fig groves, mocked sacred places, and slowly the mountain dimmed. But there are moments still when Kirinyaga glows at sunrise, and her people, they remember. Why does the mist only clear for those who don't speak above a whisper? In the ancient Benin kingdom, bronze wasn't metal, it was memory. Cast into the faces of kings, messengers, and gods, Ogun, Eshu, Oya, Olokun. These Orisha were not confined to sky or scripture. They walked within people. They possessed dancers at the New Yam Festival. They appeared during birth and before death. When the Oba spoke, he spoke not as a man, but through divinity. In 1897, the British looted the Benin bronzes, took the shrines, burned the palace. They called it a punitive expedition. But the elders knew the truth. You can erase a name from paper. You cannot burn bronze into forgetting. Many of those stolen faces still stare from museums, eyes wide, mouths sealed, waiting. Hi, thank you for watching up to this point. If you love African mystery history, comment the country you are watching from so we can appreciate you. And don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications so you'll be the first to see our next story. Now, let's continue. Why do the security guards say they hear drums where there's only glass? Among the Balobedu people, long before the term South Africa existed, power wasn't held by warriors. It was held by rain queens, Modjadji, a woman believed to control the very clouds. She never fought with blade or fire. She ruled with sky. Rainfall followed her emotion, drought, her silence. Even Shaka Zulu feared offending her. When colonial missionaries arrived and labeled her power as witchcraft, parts of the legacy vanished, records blurred, but her name never died. Today, her descendants still walk unsung through Limpopo, and every few years, when rain falls with no cloud, some whisper, "She's crying again." Why does the earth answer some names and not others? Long before Islam rode the Sahara, the Amazigh, Berbers of the north, held the desert with language and ancient spirit. They spoke of Anzar, god of rain. Men cried his name into dry wells. Women tattooed his symbols to their faces. In some villages, women controlled water rituals passed down by vision. But when religious conquest came, the tattooed women were called witches. The god Anzar was folded into silence. Still, in Amazigh homes, when the drought bites the ground raw, a wooden doll is passed from door to door. She is called Tislitan Anzar, the bride of the rain god. Children laugh, grandmothers weep. What happens when a god can only survive as a folk story? Move back in time, before even pharaohs ruled the Nile, to Nubia, modern-day Sudan, land of black stone, gold, sun, and stone temples, where queens weren't queens, they were Kandake, warrior leaders, divine vessels, and their god, Apedemak, the lion-headed one, the eastern sun, the roar behind courage. They carved him into temples, three-headed, four-armed, not bound by mankind's image. But when Egyptian doctrine swept south, Apedemak grew quiet, his lion roars replaced by falcons, his queens renamed, his temples buried, face down. Archaeologists found one. When they opened the inner chamber, the sand inside was still warm. Who buries a god face down unless they're afraid he'll rise head first? The San people, first people, knew the land like soul knows skin. They didn't worship one god. They honored patterns, sky maps, fire trails, stories older than language. They spoke of beings from the stars, creatures made of fire and memory. When lightning struck, they said it was Ikwa, the sky being, walking again. They painted beings in rock, half antelope, half man, eyes with no pupils, messages no one has yet translated. When Europeans tried to erase the culture, they took the language, but not the walls. The rock still holds the gods. What do you call a god that never gave his name? You were told the gods disappeared, that they were crushed, mocked, outlawed. But the truth is worse. They were renamed. The priest's robe hides Ogun's beads. The statue or Saint Barbara hides Shango. The healing hymns in Haitian voodoo still drip with Oshan's honey. The ancestors didn't lose the war.
They adapted. They possessed the silence. The gods aren't gone. They became story, blood, rhythm, chant, memory. The idols they burned still speak in dreams. And to this day, when no one is watching, the rains still fall early, but only where their names were never lost. What name should never have been forgotten? What spirit still whispers in your blood? Drop it in the comments. Let it echo through the digital sky. Subscribe to Voices of the Forgotten, where the gods rise again.